Hi, I'm Melissa Castillo of Bridge Mind and Spirit, and I live in North Bend, Washington.
Hello, I'm Dawn Angstrom. I am a QHHT practitioner in Washougal, Washington.
Last time we talked about how Dawn and I met, and we'd like to go over that session a little bit more. That first meeting, I thought I was going to get some huge revelation um, about a past life and it was actually quite ordinary, a little anticlimactic, and I was like, okay, what was the point of that? And yeah, it definitely wasn't what I expected, but what I did find out was the whole point of that meeting was so I could meet with Dawn and that we would be working together and have that connection.
Yes, specifically during your session, you were pretty deep and you used a lot of single words, and it was hard to pull full sentences out quite often. And so the first word was when I asked towards the end of the session, because I was worried that we weren't going to get the big revelation. I'm like, well, Melissa said that she's pretty sure that she's going to learn something very important about, that's going to happen in her life. That's not verbatim, but that's suggestive what I said. And your high self, because I said, so is there something? Is that why she's brought here today? And your high self said, connection. And I said, oh, she's supposed to meet me. And your high self said, yes. And I said, well, because I'm surprised to be brought into this at all. And I'm like, um, are we just supposed to like be friends? Or, it was just, I was trying to gather a little bit of information. But ultimately, what I learned through your high self was we are going to be working together. And so I just like kind of flabbergasted because, you know, here, like you said, we were having a pretty ordinary session. And typically, I do not get brought up in the sessions. The session is completely and solely about the client. It's not me at all. And so that was very interesting. But the session was at its end, essentially. And so we, closed session out, and you were just kind of deflated. You just didn't know what, you weren't speaking about it. You didn't know what to make of it. And we had just met. We really didn't know each other enough for us to have a big conversation about it. And, clearly we both needed to process
Yeah.
just that little bit of information. And so with that, we just kind of closed it out, and after the session, there wasn't a lot of words, and you were just kind of like, weirded out. And then your friend, you know, we had a nice conversation waiting, but we didn't talk too much about it. At least I don't recall that. Do you?
No, not really.
Okay. And then you went home.
Hmm. And I do have to say, with you, there was an immediate connection. So after our session, we talked more, and I felt like, oh, one thing that I was surprised about was the similarities in our lives. We did a lot of the same things, so it was really easy to talk to you, and it's really cool how we built a friendship so quickly.
Yes, from the end of July to end of December. What is that?
Gosh, not a few months. Sorry, at
Yeah.
home.
I mean, here we are almost, what is it, 5 months?
Yeah,
August, September, October, November, December, 5 months ago, this
yeah,
all began.
yeah. And since we didn't get too much information from that first session, we decided to have a second session, and I think that was in October.
October,
I think it was in October.
I think it was as well. Right.
And in that second session, we got a little bit more information about our roles. Do you want to go over your role?
Well, I would, is it okay if I put in a little bit more information with
Oh,
that?
absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, with your session, you gave consent to me to ask questions about more questions. So rather than in a traditional QHHT session, it would solely be about the client. But if I had questions personally about what my role might be, you allowed me to ask those questions. And
Yes.
so, which was very helpful because it made me comfortable to ask those questions as well. And so, with that said, um, we were able to get a little bit more specific about what it all meant and who we were to what is going to be going on. Um, we learned that who you are is a weaver. You bring the people, you bring us together. And I am the information, the source, the knowledge. I am a teacher, which blew my mind because that wasn't how I thought of myself, not in that context. And so it's been a growing process, but ultimately that's what we were told is that's who you are. You have a gift to weave, create the tapestry, and I inform and
And I
give
would say
information.
that's true for me because I like people. Would actually call myself an introvert, and I can be really shy, but I also love connecting with people. And I think that's what's really special about our relationship is that we're very similar in so many ways and yet very different. So, yeah, it's exciting.
Absolutely. Me as well. I'm an introvert with the ability to be an extrovert as necessary. I can draw upon it. I like to hide in the woods mostly.
Me too. That's my favorite
Um,
place is dig a hole and put a rock on top of me.
so I think the really big and almost scary piece of information to share with everyone is that we are to bring our individual training and gifts together and create a new modality for the people, a modality that will specifically be able to bring enlightenment to all of those who come to us, which is mind blowing. And we have not created that yet. It's in process.
Yes. Working on it, working on it. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting. It's exciting to take what I do as a master NLP practitioner and with what you do and marrying the two. Um, I think it's going to be so beneficial and helpful to so many people.
I think that's their point, is to help so many more to get there so much quicker because things just take so long and they want to help everybody move forward.
Yeah. And it really is such a it's a wonderful process where you can do most of the work on an unconscious level and really feel the benefits in your life without reliving any trauma. It's just a great modality that we will be creating.
Excited to see what it's going to be.
Me too. Me too.
I'm excited to share it with all of you. How amazing. So, with that said,
You
How do
can
we find you, Melissa?
you can find me at bridgemindandspirit.com.
And you can find me, as I said previously, I don't advertise, but I am on the QHHT website. You can find me there under my name, Dawn Angstrom, with an Angstrom. One last thing that we need to make sure that you understand. We are new to this, and we do not know everything yet, but we will keep you posted as we learn more.
Yes. Well, thank you, and we all hope to hear from you.